Hi everybody, this is Ty Swartz with Snap Lens, and we are here uh, driving again in the back hill country of Texas. It is such a beautiful, it is flat, it is hilly, there is cacti everywhere. I have never been this deep into Texas, and I'll tell you what, it is absolutely beautiful. So one of the things that popped up as I'm doing this drive in Texas is I love looking. I do. I like watching TikTok. I'll tell you, it's a nice little brain break. It's kind of like when I play the train game. I have a train game that allows me to get my thoughts together and think in a linear manner. I think sometimes that my brain overgoes and overthinks things, and so I need a brain break. And so I'll turn on TikTok, and I am that person that sits there and scrolls and watches TikToks for 2 hours, and I'm like, okay, where did time go, and why am I still awake? But that's the really cool thing about social media is if you manage your social media time and you think about what you're doing, what you're not doing, um, and you have a purpose for it. So for me, looking at TikToks is a brain break. The same thing for Instagram. Now, I'm not, I would love to say that I'm on Instagram way more than I am. I'm on Instagram just enough to know what's going on and looking at what other photographers are doing and just seeing some of the really cool images. I always find it interesting. There's a lot of Instagram models that they're learning, and it's interesting to watch them grow from the first couple of times that they've modeled something to after a year or two as they've matured as a model. And that's kind of what my topic is today is the maturity of our understanding of what impact is in the world of photography. Now, impact is one of the elements of the 12 elements of a merited image. And I think that for me, when it comes to impact, I think about TikTok and I think about Instagram and Facebook. I don't do so much with X. It's more, X is so political that I just can't do it. But I do like social media because it allows you to scroll. If you don't like something, you can scroll on. I typically don't make a lot of comments because if I disagree with something, next thing I know, it is just nothing but intolerant people being visceral, and that's not something that's a lot of fun. So what I do is as I'm scrolling, I'm looking around and I'm saying, oh, this is interesting. I stop what I'm doing. I'm looking at something. I'm really interested in what I'm watching and learning when I'm seeing this stuff. But it's interesting to me. So whether it's video or it's a photograph, it's creating an impact. It's emotionally attaching me to something that's going on in somebody else's life, or it's connecting me with a vision that somebody has. It's giving me an idea for. Sometimes I'll have an idea that's floating around in my head, and I can't necessarily get it on paper or describe it, or I've described it 100% wrong and I've tried things and I've made it wrong. But by scrolling through social media, sometimes I get a great idea based on somebody's idea, and then I take that idea and then I add my personality to it. And for me, I'm adding my impact and my understanding and my level of communication, visual communication to that. Now, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to copy somebody verbatim. I mean, I think that is, you know, not as creative as you could be. But if I take parts and pieces of other people's ideas and then I turn that and I grow that into my own idea, then I've created impact for not only me, but hopefully the people who look at what the content I'm creating. They're saying, okay, so that's different, that's unique, that's really impactful for me, and I'm helping them come up with ideas or visions, and that's what I think being a creative analytic is how do I take and I analyze other people's work, and then I take those ideas and then I create it and mesh it into my own. And I think that's kind of a simplified way of saying, hey, I'm doing a mashup. There's no way that anybody would ever want to hear me sing, so I'm not going to do a singing mashup. You definitely don't want to see me dance. My wife Nicole has banned me from dancing in all 50 states and pretty much every country we've ever visited. She knows that I have zero rhythm to dance whatsoever. I could carry a tune in a bucket, and the bucket would sound better. I've tried to pick up musical instruments. I have zero ability to create beautiful music. It's kind of like a dying goose squeaking and hollering. It's horrible singing abilities. But when it comes with a camera, I'm able to create and design and tell stories and create impactful, emotional events for people. And I think to me that is important. When I look at my images, I want to have memories. I want to know what I've done over the last couple of days. I want to know what I did last month. I want to know, I want to be able to tell my life stories in the images that I created. And it doesn't have to include me in those images. Which is what I love about being a photographer is there's so many images and so many stories of just watching people do amazing things and then trying to figure out how to tell their story and create impact for the viewer, because I want the viewer to say, wow, that's a great image. What are they doing? And find out information. One of the things I loved about the Navy is the images that I created got to tell the story about sailors doing stuff around the world. I absolutely love telling humanitarian mission stories because you have a sailor that's from Iowa that's never been out of the country going into, Indonesia and helping people who need help. I think that is an impactful story, but how do you tell that story? How do you create the impact where people want to ask questions? And I think that is one of the challenges that you have as a photographer, because for me, I don't think I could ever be a bulk photographer. I could never be a high school portrait photographer that just went into an elementary school or a middle school and just photographed every single kid, the same exact lighting, the same exact pose, just click, 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 click. That to me, I hated doing that. I've always hated doing that because there's for me, there's not a lot of creativity. It's just a lot of people coming in, sitting down, smiling, next person. I couldn't be a factory worker. It's very repetitive. But what I do love about photojournalism or creating high school senior portraits is, what's your personality? What's impactful to you? And what do you want to tell the world about yourself? Because you have to imagine 10 years from now, are you going to still be playing that instrument? 10 years from now, are you still going to be running track, or are you going to be running at all? I mean, I know after I was injured and I broke my leg, it was so painful to run that it just was it was life-changing. So I just want people to see when I create images, what's changed in their lives. And one of the books that I read as a kid was a book about transcendental analysis, and basically, how do you say hello to somebody after you haven't seen them in a while? And that's what I want that impact to be, is, hey, I know this person, but is it the same person in this photograph, or is it a different person? What impact have they had on my life, or what impact have they had on other people's lives? What story is happening here that's impactful to my emotional state when I look at that image? So those are the things I think about when I'm thinking about impact and creating images and telling stories. I think that it's really important for me to understand that just that one image could be a life-changing, impactful image. I remember, and I know I'm running out of time, I try to keep these down to 10, 11 minutes. One of the most impactful photographs that I took was I was on mission photographing Marines. And one of the Marines was sitting up on the AAV and they were leaving the back of the ship, and I just happened to photograph him sitting on top of the AAV, and it made the front cover of one of the Navy military magazines. And I was out photographing, I think George Bush had gone to Naval Air Station Coronado, and his mother was there. And somehow she had gotten hold of the PAO. The PAO walked her over and introduced her to me, and she let me know that that image was the most impactful image of her life, because 6 months after I had taken that image, her son had been killed in Afghanistan. And that was one of her favorite images of her son doing what he loved. And I think for me, the emotional impact of that hit home more than any other photograph I've ever taken, because I was able to capture what I thought was just a moment in time. And I thought, oh, wow, cool photo. And that's as deep as I got with that photograph until I met the mother. And then I realized that as I'm creating these images, I'm telling the story of somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's significant other. And that is more impactful and life-changing, not just for them, but for me as a photographer. And I'm seeing things that I never saw before I even had that moment with his mother. And even telling the story now, I get kind of choked up because of how impacted I was with that level of sincerity and honesty from Mom. Anyway, so thank you for listening. I am Ty Swartz with Snap Lens Education, and I would love for you to check us out on YouTube, check us out on our snaplens.blog, visit snaplens.com, and see if there's anything there that you like. Our goal is to help people learn about photography, just kind of get insights into the photographer's mind, and just really just tell stories and think about why we do what we do as photographers. And I just absolutely love everything about being a photographer. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next episode.